for in this beat. Yes, it go way beyond burgers. Hope will go way beyond searching. Erudition take you beyond learning. Education keep your heart yearning. It's so born.
Let me know. And of course, you can ask questions at any time. But again, we're doing a tribute tonight, and I don't know if you can see the board. Probably not, because of lights and everything. But we're talking about Noble Drew Ali, and Noble Drew Ali solar return was January 8th, 1886. And when you do an in-depth research to this man and his life works, a lot of stuff will be revealed, and it's not to worship him, because he said himself he didn't want to be worshipped, nor he didn't want his mother and father to be worshipped. So it's not about worshiping him. It's just to tie some knots and bring some comprehension about things that he did and why he did them. So in 1886, when Noble Drew Ali entered this realm, Noble Drew Ali entered the realm under the Stargate of Capricorn. And in 1886, there was a anthropologist and their team went to Egypt, okay? And when they went to Egypt, they was trying to unearth the Great Sphinx. And the Great Sphinx, at the time, its lower half, the body of the Sphinx, was covered. And 1886 is when they unearthed the bottom of the Sphinx. Okay, so you can see the actual paws of the Sphinx, which was a lion's paw, which is very symbolic and is very astrological, because this was a time where a notable son of the tribe of what they call Judah was revealed. Okay, and the lion's paw was revealed to the Albions in 1886. Okay, and they call the people at North America that's labeled black the true Jews. Okay, we know that that's connotative on levels, but we also know that it's symbolic. So, North Carolina, Noble Drew Ali was born in North Carolina, and North Carolina is a special place. It is, it was and still is part of the Atlantean colony. Okay, in Atlantis, they formed colonies all over the world. Okay, and the Atlantis civilization itself came from Mars. Okay, or one of their civilizations that left. They came here from Mars. North Carolina is a part of one of those Atlantean colonies, and a couple ages ago, a meteorite hit North Carolina, which split it. It's bigger than what it was. I made it smaller, and they have traces of the meteorite in North Carolina, and of course, a descendant, who was once called the prophet by the people during that time, still called the prophet by his people today. All of the symbology is taking place, so it shows you that Noble Drew Ali of the tribe of Judah. So a sign was revealed in 1886 during the year of his birth, and then the location in the Atlantean colony. Now you might be saying, well, the whole world is, Atlantis. We could make that argument, but there's specific regions on Earth, especially at North America, where they definitely had strong Atlantean colonies and civilizations. North Carolina is one of them. And he's a descendant of the Atlanteans. So He said that we have the same bloodline, so that makes us descendants of Atlanteans. He was born Timothy Drew, okay, and Timothy Drew um, was the name given to him, and Timothy Drew, he was a part of the Aniawea. Anybody know what the connotative name for Aniawea is?
Cherokee.
Anybody know the connotative for Aniawea?
Cherokee.
Right, Cherokee. Exactly, Islam. So, the real name for Cherokee is Aniawea. He was a part of this tribe. And now some people, argue and debate and say he wasn't a part of it. He was taken in by the local Aniawea tribal members. Um, but nonetheless, he was a part of the Aniawea tribe, and he also was practicing, or was a gypsy. And that is, in our terms, a magi. So he was practicing, those occult sciences from his experiences with, practicing this occult science. He went to Egypt, and when he went to Egypt, he studied in one of the ancient orders, and became an adept professor. Right, that ancient order is what today evolved into the Shriners. Um, and then here he also met with the Sultan, and he earned the title of Sheikh Sharif Abdul Ali. Okay, so he earned that title. He didn't choose that title. So a lot of conscious Moors come into the movement. They choose different titles that they desire, but you have the responsibility to live up to those titles. So he was given the title Sheikh Sharif Abdul Ali by the Sultan. Now, somewhere in that conversation and from their meetings, the topic of nationality had to be brought up. You gotta think of the era they were in, 1800s. You just had the, Abraham Lincoln being overthrown, the Civil War. You also had a lot of our ancestors, literally, some of them still in what you call connotatively slavery, and some of them were free, but you had a lot of uh, Moors, nationals, that were enslaved during the time. So their uh, reading comprehension level was low. A lot of different things was not how it is today. In some ways, because in some ways it's the same. But during this time frame, um, dealing with a people who were not um, free in their mind. So they were under the 14th Amendment. Okay. Some of it through, well, a lot of it is due to losing their nationality, being stripped. And some of them chose to stay that way, because of fear. But during this time, he came back as Ali. And Ali is a title of nobility. And as a title of nobility, you have five of them. Il Bey de Al Ali. All right, you have five titles. And during this time frame, he came back He's seen the degradation of our people. So what he did was he started the blueprint for what we are doing today. Morris Divine and National Movement in 1912. Okay. He also was the first person in the West, the first person in North America to restore Islam. Now, you might hear a lot of us for New Moors say Islam to each other when we agree with something or when we greet each other. It's an acronym, yes. It stands for Our Self-Law and Master, but it's also a science. It's dealing with the science of peace. And then we get to Islamism. So when we greet each other, we say Islam. So many layers, you're saying Our Self-Law and Master to one another, and you're also saying peace. Now, he was the first one in the West to bring Islam, not the Orthodox Islam, not the Nation of Islam, but the ancient Islam that the Canaanites practiced. So in 1912, he laid his foundation. So the star and the crescent moon was no longer shining in the east anymore. It then reversed and it is facing the west because the star is in the west. So all you eastern stars, now you can, that you know this knowledge, you can say in the lodges, I am the star in the east. Okay, not an eastern star, you are the star. So the star, you see the star in the crescent? So it's the crescent. That's the moon. You see the star. Right? So now it faces the west and is shining on the west, the Al Maghrib, the most extreme west. Okay, northwest Africa, northwest of Mexico, the North Gate. Okay, so the prophet is in the west, and so is the star and crescent, mother and son. Focal point of light is now on the heart of civilization. So 1912, he set up